Manchester City win the treble, and a lot of people don't know how to exactly go about this because number one, you don't have all these Manchester City friends. It's all Man United and Chelsea to a lesser extent, and Liverpool mostly, especially where I'm from. I mean, obviously Arsenal fans. So it's weird. We competed with Man City for most of the season. Uh, I would say 50% our fault for not being able to, complete games where we thought we were going to win, like we did in the first half of the season. But Manchester City, they're a juggernaut, 115 charges against them. But at the end of the day, the players that's playing in the team, they agreed to join this team. So they aren't the reason why there's 115 charges, even though you can say it was their fees and wherever all this money went to. However, Pep still had to put the team together. There's other teams that spent over 600 million in 18 months, and they are not able to get the right guy to get the best out of all these superstars. So that's something to look at, something to think about. But I'm not here to praise, I'm not here to put down, I'm just here to say congratulations. Hopefully my team Arsenal are able to start building something and build something that was broken, all in all. The broken crest at the end of the day. And just on the game, both teams seem to have played three. Obviously, you've got John Stones for Manchester City that's either playing high up front, playing in the midfield, or he is either a right centre back, part of a back three, when Akanji moves to the right side, or it is that he is the inverted right back. So I don't know what he was doing, but he was all over the place. Sometimes his technique was a bit of an issue, especially when he had to do some passes, even though he's very good on the ball. But from a tactical standpoint, I felt that even if you look at his heat map, he was always there. So he took a player or two. Inter Milan's pressing was absolutely superb. In the first 5 minutes, you could see that Inter Milan were the back three, Bastoni, Acerbi, and I think it was Darmian. They were all that was their back three, with Dumfries right wing back and left wing back was, I can't get to the name now. Is DiMarco? I think it's DiMarco. So very good wing backs. I thought they were excellent for Inter Milan. The midfield, I wouldn't say Çalhanoğlu was that good. Brozovic was okay, but Barrea was fantastic, a player that I really like at Inter Milan. And then obviously the front guys, it was Lautaro Martinez, and they didn't get enough ball, so they worked hard. Dzeko worked hard, and Lukaku worked hard when he came on, but he was atrocious in terms of his finishing. Two great opportunities for Inter in the game. And then Manchester City, as we expected, had most of the ball. In terms of the pressing game, I thought Inter were brilliant in the way that they pressed Man City, and obviously at times they were I could say a little bit open in the final part of the game, especially when they were pushing for goals. The wing backs were pushing high up, and you always have the front two playing quite close to the back three of Manchester City if they have the ball. However, Man City were able to control most of it, and Rodri, who I thought had a poor first half, or he wasn't great, he came up trumps when there was quite a few players appealing for a possible handball, which I didn't think it was. I think the ball brushed his elbow or something, or not even his elbow. It didn't brush anything. But they could have gone back to that in terms of VAR. However, Rodri finished superbly. I thought Grealish was good in the way that he obviously is able to attract fouls on the right side. Bernardo was brilliant as well. So I thought they're right. So even though the wing backs of Inter had great games, I still felt that Grealish was good, and I felt that Bernardo was good as well. So all in all, if you take away the fact that we don't want to begrudge anybody anything, but we've obviously got that begrudging feeling as opposition as to the fact that Man City now has a treble as well. So Man United has a treble, Man City has a treble, only one team is invincible. But I'm not the type to go back into the past. We need to look at the future. So a decent final. I didn't think it was great. I thought all three European finals were very poor. The Champions League was probably a little bit better because of the way both teams pressed, and there was good bits of play in certain parts of the game. But the likes of Haaland didn't have much. He was obviously fighting, and I think it was Acerbi that always was on him, and then Bastoni as well. So it was very difficult for him to get going. He did have a chance. There was one offside as well. But all in all, I felt Man City did enough to win the game. However, Inter Milan had two great chances, of which Lukaku was in the way for one, and he then headed the ball straight at Ederson. Some people say it's the greatest save of all time. Other people feels Lukaku should have scored. And if you look at the history of Lukaku, he has this moments where he misses absolute sitters, and then he's got this way where he's able to find the corner, either the left or the right side of the keeper, and scores goals. So yeah, I don't know what much to say. It just seemed like it was all meant to be. Arsenal pushed Man City for 3/4 of the season, fell off at the end. We know why. Not because of bottling. The squad is just not simply there. Manchester City they only make 2 subs. De Bruyne went off second consecutive final. That De Bruyne went off in a Champions League game. However, they lost the last time to Chelsea. This time they beat Inter Milan 1-0 both games. And then I think there was a late substitution. Akanji didn't end up going off, even though I thought he was a bit dodgy in the game. Stones ended up going off, and Walker came on just to shore things up. So these are the type of players that they could bring on. There was periods in the season where João Cancelo played first half of the season, and then they took him out of the team. Then it was Ake playing at left back. Then you had most of the season Walker played, and then last couple of months Stones were brilliant. So this is the thing that other teams, and I'm using Arsenal as an example as well, couldn't do. They couldn't bring in a top player to play for a period of time and have form. Whenever we brought in players, they were okay for a couple of games, and then boom, Nketiah holding biggest examples. So we leave it at that. Well-deserved treble for Man City. It's pointless going into all the charges because nothing's going to happen. They've won these events. So even if you give the team that finished second or the team that lost in a final, if you take away their trophies, you get rid of them as a club, they still ended up lifting the trophies. The memories are still there. It will be tainted, it will be heart sore, but the memories doesn't go away. So we have to accept it. So even though the transfer window opens on I think it's the 14th of June, so this week, the Premier League fixtures also gets announced this week. So things are happening fast. Pre-season starts 11th, 12th, 13th of July for most teams. So round about a month only, and then teams have to start preparing for the new season. Obviously, all these top players that's been playing at the back end of the season, they won't start pre-season. So you've got a situation where players will be coming in drips and drabs in pre-season, and then eventually the teams around about Community Shield time will have their full teams or the first week of the league. So interesting stuff. I'm not going to applaud them. I'm not going to shake a hand of a Man City fan. I'm not going to congratulate a Manchester City fan because I don't know any. Come on, let's go. Off your game with Josh and Roni. Have a good week.